Welcome back, mentors. I hope you enjoyed the team building phase. It's always a lot of fun, I know. But now we're going to switch gears. We're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about self-esteem and healthy relationships. But of course, we found a fun and clever way of delivering those objectives. So in this phase, what are we trying to do in this phase? We're trying to build our kids' self-esteem and their self-perception, as well as their interpersonal skills, so that they can build healthy relationships and, of course, be able to bounce back from adversity. All right, so in this phase, we're trying to build their self-esteem, their self-perception, those interpersonal skills, so that they can have healthy relationships and bounce back from adversity. So how do we do this, you might ask? By first understanding that all of us are largely influenced by our family, environment, and peers. So really think about that. We really are influenced by our family, environment, and peers. And it's this influence that really has an effect at the end of the day on our self-esteem and our resiliency. Sounds like we're in therapy, right? But again, all these things, the family, the environment, and the peers, really has an effect on our self-esteem and our resiliency. So now, when we're talking about our middle school kids, or even fifth graders, we want to backtrack a little bit and identify that time in our lives when our environment and peers had the most influence. So we go back, we want to think back in time. So think back, so reflect a little bit right now. Think back in time. When do you think this was at an all-time high? Have you guessed it? Yes, the pre-adolescence and the adolescent years. Oh, that crazy time of our lives. I never want to go back. So yes, our self-esteem at this time is really hit hard as we approach and reach puberty. And the things that put us at that higher risk for low self-esteem and those negative choices and those unhealthy relationships and that poor body image, the list goes on, are things like depression, peer pressure, bullying, that strong desire to fit in, family challenges, monetary issues, that negative body image, feeling weird about what's going on or not normal, etc. So with all those things in mind, that's what's going on right now. We want to make sure that we're focusing on nurturing our students' sense of dignity and self-worth. And don't forget, as I said to you a little earlier, we're not only molded by our genetics, but we really are largely molded by our environment as well. So most of the times, all it takes is the right spark, and that is a vote of confidence at the right time to help us when the pressure is on, and to really help us make positive choices. So think about that. We want to nurture our kids so that when that pressure is on, they can make some good choices. And it's just as easy as a vote of confidence. All right, so let's start. Our activity for today is called My Coat of Arms, and your question of the day, just so that we can start going, start talking about that self-esteem. Of all the nice things someone can say about you, which one would make you feel the best? So again, of all the nice things people think people would say about you, what's the one that would make you feel the best? And I know I love when people say I'm smart, or I'm a visionary, or I'm innovative. I love all those things. I love all the compliments, right? I'll take a compliment anytime. But anyway, good question to ask our little young people, so that they really are paying attention when someone is identifying those positive attributes, right? So they can hold on to them again when the pressure is on. Really think about all the positive qualities that they possess. All right. So that was your question of the day. Again, we're going to keep going into finding those positive attributes of our kid, identifying them. Especially in this activity, they're going to hear them from their peers. So they're going to hear about their positive qualities or attributes from their peers. And this game is called Everyone is It. Everyone is It. So pretty simple. You're going to distribute an index card and a pencil to all your students. So you'll have a smaller golf pencil, of course. An index card to all your students. And then you're going to ask your students to write their name in the upper left-hand corner. And make sure they print legibly. So ask them to print legibly and to write it small. They don't need to fill up the whole space of the card. So they'll write their name. I'll put Will Fig. Abbreviate my name, all right? And then when they're done, you're going to ask them to fold their card in half, and you're going to get a brown bag, and you're going to ask them to drop it in the bag, all right? So you'll go around and you have each student fold their card in half and drop it in the bag. And then once you're done, you'll shake up all the cards, and then you'll call the students up one by one to draw a card out of the bag, all right? So they'll come up one by one to draw a card out of the bag. And this next round, once they draw the card, so you want them to look at it before they go back and take their seat and make sure that it's not their card. So again, you really want to make sure that no one has their own card, that they have someone's different card. They go back to their seat and you're going to instruct them to write 4 positive compliments. Again, 4 positive compliments. Now, for this age, a lot of times it's really difficult for them to write compliments, but really get them to think out of the box. They really typically like to go to the more physical kind of compliments. Oh, you have nice hair, you have nice eyes, or I like your kicks, etc., etc. But try to get them to think a little deeper, right? Like, is someone smart? Are they funny? Are they hardworking? Are they kind? Or whatever those things are, right? All those nice things. So have them come up with 4 compliments. I would monitor what they're writing, so mentors, as one of you is facilitating, maybe the other mentor can walk around and make sure that they are writing positive compliments and they're being appropriate. All right, so they'll write them down. Once they're done, once they've written their 4 compliments, you're going to have them drop it back in the bag again. When they're done, just fold it back in half, drop it back in the bag. And then, once you've collected all your cards, you're going to pull the card out and you're going to read out loud. They'll say, okay, William, someone here on the team, and keep it anonymous so that no one feels embarrassed, all right? Because I know it's easy to feel embarrassed when you're saying nice things at this age. But keep it anonymous and then say, hey, Will Fig, somebody here in the group thinks you're smart, you're funny, and that you're a hard worker, and that you're kind. All right? So again, from their peers, they're going to hear some positive things about themselves and hopefully build their self-esteem. All right? So that's how you facilitate Everyone is It. The next game is going to take us back in time, back to those medieval times, and it's called Coat of Arms. Coat of Arms. Now, I didn't write out the instructions because I'm just going to illustrate to you exactly how you pull this off, but you're going to distribute to your students a Coat of Arms handout, a Coat of Arms handout. You'll also give them some examples of some Coat of Arms, and then you're also going to have some coat of arms, colors, animals, symbols, and a list of values. So I'm going to explain what all this means. All right? So you distribute all these handouts. You'll give them a pencil and markers, and then you'll read the coat of arms, shields, and heraldry handout. And we've given you a little history about the coat of arms, shield, and heraldry. And you'll just read it out loud. People in the medieval times used personal family banners and shields to express their identity and status in society. So think of your school logo or the logo of your favorite professional sports teams. These logos are so unique that you can recognize your school banner or your favorite team simply by looking at their logo. Heraldry is the same kind of thing, but a bit more structured. So you go on that it started in the Middle Ages. It was a distinctive code to identify noble families. Every item and design had a meaning, etc., etc. So really, emphasize that every design, every color, every pattern, every symbol had a very significant meaning that was representational of that family. And that's what this activity is all about, is them identifying things that are unique about themselves, about their family, that influence, right, that make them unique, all right? So their personal coat of arms. So once you read that out loud, you can have them take a look at the examples so they can see some examples of some real coat of arms. We even have one of the LA Kings in there, something that maybe they can relate to. And then what you want to ask them is maybe as they're looking at these examples, if they can identify who these people are and what they stand for and what the colors all meant. All right? And then you're going to tell them, today we're going to create our very own coat of arms based on your personality, character, and family. These are the must-haves. You're going to look through the colors, the animals, and the symbols to help create your very own unique coat of arms. So at the top, you want to make sure you write your family last name, and so mine is Figueroa. So I put my family last name. And then, using the handout with the heraldry colors, the heraldry animals, and symbols, to choose colors and symbols. Of course, each box can have a different color, or they can have all the colors. But just some examples. Maybe they want to choose yellow because yellow stands for generosity and kindness. Or maybe they want to choose red because it means strength or warrior, etc. So they would choose some colors. They have animals like a bear that represents protection and safety. Let's see here. A fox for wisdom and cleverness, etc. Some symbols are crosses for faith. Maybe they have a strong faith or their family has a strong faith. fire for enthusiasm, etc. So they would decorate it. Again, they can look at their examples to get some ideas. And then they would color that, fill that all in. And then at the bottom, it's almost like a motto, but not quite, but a little bit like a motto. We're going to ask them to choose from a values worksheet. So we gave you a little values worksheet. 2 values to write at the bottom. So the Figueroa family represents all this stuff in here, and then we're all strong and brave. All right, so that would be my example of my personal coat of arms. All right, so those are your activities. So as you see, we're trying to warm them up to getting into self-esteem and talking about their self-esteem and finding their positive attributes and qualities, etc., 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 so that our kids can be resilient. So of course, I always like to leave you with a really good quote. So think about this. As mentors, let's aim to fill a student's bucket of self-esteem so high, so we're going to fill that bucket of self-esteem so high that the rest of the world can't drain it dry. It's Will, signing out.